We are here to present a solution that we made up in Italy in Italy and also in 15 countries in Europe for automotive sector. And the big, great achievement that you realize that when you go to a private or commercial sector, the first thing that you said that you are a business partner, and they tell you Esri who, and so you have to also to teach about who GIS is, who are the function that you can implement, but they are not interested. They really are interested in solution. They only want to see their KPI. They only see they can reorganize, they can manage, they can have an answer about their problem, and they simply don't care about technology. And also, they are not GIS user, so they don't know how to zoom, how to pan, how to info, what is a thematic layer, what is a map, what is export. They really don't care about it. They just simply they want to use. So when you go to this market, you have to create a solution that involves a process. You have to sit right near to the business people, do the question, and translate the answer into workflow, into process. And after that, you have to make up the solution so that they can use without knowing that they are using a complex GIS algorithm. They are modeling what they was thinking that you are converted into a process. Okay? So that's what this is what we do all day in our life in Italy. We are the only business partner entirely focused on private and commercial business. We integrate statistic, we create a regression model, we create data from external form. We create a layer that integrate into solution and deliver to the commercial business. So the new things that are appearing that also during the conference, we know many speech about this, is that the commercial sector now is a place when you can go and you can take your GIS experience, but in a different way from the government or public sector, because they really don't care, they have no time. We made up the solution usually in days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. This was a 15 country project, so they gave us a lot of time, 5 weeks, to go to the market. Okay, so we were very confident that we can go simply. And they asked us when we were in holiday, 21 of August, they asked us, and the first country was released 26th of September, France. Okay, this is what the private sector asks. It's all about time to market. So we have to find a solution that involve the possibility to achieve this result very quickly. And that's what I want to show you. So I've divided the presentation into 3 steps: the challenge, the approach, and the technical solution. I'll try to explain the 3 steps one at a time. The first was the challenge. Imagine 7 different brands, so it's like 7 different companies. Okay? But they are correlated, they are merged. They want to know, they are fused. So they want to know the overlapping. They want to know if you have 7 different networks and you have to create 1 or 2. You have to know how to organize. There are some people that you can simply, they are not only about technical problem, but involve human relationships. You can't simply close one location because it's not so simple. So all the problem when you move to commercial sector is quite different. 15 different countries. All those guys never knew nothing about GIS. The only GIS that they knew was Google Maps. And so they are involved. The only things that they can do when they saw a map is like to move the mouse to try to pan on and off, or to search each own house, or where they go in holiday. Okay? They are not involved in anything that is technical for us. 4 different kinds of data. When we came into a company, usually we impact on the data warehouse. GIS is always the last technology that enter inside a company, always the last. And you have to enter in a place where maybe you are Oracle, data warehouse, SQL, SIS, SAP. And so you have to go deep and try to find your place and find a way to integrate the data and to re-put the data inside their data warehouse. No GIS people, as I saw. They are all business people. They only want to have an Excel at the end of the analysis. Nothing more. That's why when I saw Jack Dengemore presenting ArcGIS for Office, I said, yes, that's the right problem. This is a killer application for us. Okay, multi-country automatic geocoding. Imagine a different language, different problem, and people that don't even know how to write an address in a correct way. And you have to automate this process, because the only things that they want to do is insert data into an Excel file. They don't want to touch file database. They don't even know the file database exists. And you have to create a file database starting from the Excel file. You have to integrate the data, external, internal, from data warehouse, involve into process, create the analysis, and create the output data. EV geoprocessing thing. On the other side, they don't want to know how, but they want a complex answer. They want to know about coverage, about competitive scenario, about the competitive pressure. All the KPI are very difficult to implement because you have that data in a very short brick. You have census block. Automotive sector usually have data categorized by year, by brand, by class of vehicle, and each data are delivered on a census block layer. And so the other things that 14 countries need to be updated automatically from our company. So we have to create automatic process. We deliver a new model, so we deliver through FTP and through the network the model out of date in all the countries. The only things that they have to do is reopen the MXD. They are not involved in reinstalling, not install process. It's always a copy and paste. So all the solution is closed inside a single workspace. Okay. The other thing is that many people can work on the same machine, but they want to do different things. Imagine that you are a technician, and so you want to see some kind of KPI and some kind of functionality. On the other side, you're not a technician. You are a manager. So you are not involved in such thing. You only want to click and create a report. On the other side, you can work on French, and on the same machine, you want to work on Spain. On the same machine, you want to work on UK. And the system have to understand that you are talking about UK. So all the workflow panel have to move to the right toolbox, the right geodatabase, the right scratch geodatabase, all without that they know how these things happen. And as I said, 5 weeks to deploy the solution. But the very, very, very big constraint that we had when we approached the commercial sector is low IT impact. Business people simply don't care about IT. They don't want to talk with him. They don't want to know how they think. They only want the solution. So if you come to those people and you say, okay, you don't even have to talk to your IT. I take this. You only need to be administrator for 2 hours. I install your solution, and that's all. After that, after you have demonstrated you can do these things, you can think to involve the IT and try to leverage the solution from desktop to enterprise to web and something like that. But in commercial sector, from my experience, it's impossible to start with an enterprise solution directly from IT, and after that IT approved, you go to business people. It doesn't work. Business people doesn't accept. They don't want to use. And this is the business approach. Imagine that you are arriving in a company has its own data. You have to take with you not only the technology, but also the data that they need. They are not a public sector. They have no data from the real world. They have no layer, geographic layer. They have no socio-demographic information. And in many cases, you have to build the data for them. Imagine for a tire company that you have to build the network tire. It doesn't exist in Italy. Simply you have to bring out internet, take some people, write down, geocode, create a layer of point, and after that you can sell inside the solution. The other thing that you have to manage is the feeding of the data of the data. You cannot ask to those people to go to a geodatabase, add data, do a thematic. They even know how to thematic the data, or do the thematic layer. And so you have to create an automatic process that automatically creates thematic data. You only have to manage which KPI they want to see. The other things that you do is to create all this business process that permit to analyze and to take business decisions. They are only interested in these two panels. All those things, they are not aware of all those things. The system only have to work. Okay. So we decided to create a solution, a desktop solution, multi-desktop solution in concurrent and single-use mode, based on our desktop 10. When we build 100 of custom models, we easily use Model Builder to customize it, to achieve the result in so few time. And we convert all this model into a workflow. So all the GIS stuff that you do usually are converted into a flow that the GIS do for you. And the only things that the GIS do is to create the layer, to create the thematic map, to add automatic to the map, and to permit to create report, Excel and PDF. And how we achieve this? We simply use a panel. We create an add-in that is a panel that is connected with an XML file, when you can write inside how the model are, where the model are, and in which country they are, at which country are collected. And so, I think this is the secret, in my opinion. So you can create 15 different XML modes nested inside the workspace when you are delivering the solution. So when the add-in starts, read which country is, which model I have to create, which model I have to connect. So the panel is always the same, but the things that change are the data that are called and also the functionality that are called. This is the panel. You only have to work from first to last. And all the functionality that you usually do using the normal button or the normal function of a GIS are nested inside this panel. So you can find an address, geocode your network. After you have got the network, you can update when there are new file that comes. Create the geography and the KPI that you need. Here I did ready time. When you click for a model, we create a simple help that can be useful. And when you launch a model, imagine the difference between creating a network, a drive time analysis using network analyst, or simply have to choose the traffic congestion and choose which kind of vehicle you are treating. The system do all the things by itself, and the result is that the drive time are added to the map, already thematic, divided by brand, with array that is read inside the Excel file. So the people doesn't really insert anything geography correlated. They only work with the Excel. And they are the model that... What
is the purpose of the drive time?
The purpose of the drive time is to try to understand the coverage of the network.
No, I understand that. The purpose of the drive time, why is the client doing this? What are they looking for?
They're looking for the coverage. They're looking, if you have a network... No,
I understand.
Yes?
So they're marketing.
Yes.
So they're looking at people that can come to their
yes.
locations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes. You have also, as I said, there are a layer about the potential of the territory. So you go to intersect this potential in terms of which is the maximum distance that a customer can travel. Okay. So actually, maybe I have to go a little fast. Okay. And this is the toolbox. Okay. Those are all the models that we develop for each country. I think more than 200. The things that we made up is to nest a model. So we create a core functionality using Model Builder, and we nest this core functionality wrapped around a focus model, because the external model take the input specifically for each country and convert this localized data into generic data, and after that pass the data that at this time are equal for each nation into the core module. When the model finished work, the data are repassed through the more external model that recreate the local version of the data. And
So in your worst cases, how long do you run this model?
I depend. It's like from minutes to 2 or 3 hours. But all the model, those, I think this is a one-day operation.
So this was support multiple threads or parallel processing?
We create also parallel processes inside a nested, but it is not, it's ArcGIS that does support very well in this case, a multiple model.
How many instances do you want every time?
One instance, yes. One instance at a time, yes. So we were already interested when we saw the last speech, when we finally saw that you can parallelize even on a server, even on the server. On Dexter, it's not so simple parallelize the geoprocessing model. It's also about licensing things that if you launch together 4 instances and that calculated drive time, maybe you have some problem with licensing. Yes? See? There are model. The data are the data came from the data warehouse from the company. So it is an ETL process that converts the data into a view that can be feed the model that synchronize the data inside the geodatabase. So all start on an Excel file in this case, 2 Excel files for country, and the data are moved into the geodatabase. And so all the things that the customer have to do is to follow the workflow. When we build up this, if you, in every step, there's a warning. In order to run this model, it is necessary to run update park data. So when you create the data, it's a customer that have to be aware to follow the workflow, okay? Feeding the model was also a challenge because usually we don't know how the data will be formatted and which format will be used by the company. And so we create a feeding model. The feeding model are models that offset data in very different from. We can start to Excel to arrive to SQL, Oracle, SIS. The only things that we need is that we understand how the field the right that the necessary fields are present, and so we simply convert this into, well, it's quite difficult. Okay, this is the feeding model. It starts from an Excel. Okay. First, converting Excel into geodatabase. And after that, it create all the KPI that are needed. The last thing that it do is add to the table of content using pre-rendered thematic layer. The other things that we done is create many tens of custom models that supply what the model builder doesn't do. So there are things that the model builder simply don't have. So we create custom model, but instead of creating code or something that is not correlated, we simply create even more and more big toolboxes, so we can drag and drop all the new functionality and use, repeat and use inside the other model. So because there were a multinational approach, all the delivery is made inside a single workspace. So we simply have to send the workspace via FTP. So the FTP is automatic loaded in the position. It doesn't matter which position it is. Double click inside the MXD and everything works. This is the only thing. And with this approach, we can update every country. In any case, if we know that there is something that doesn't work, we can correct it directly inside our office and send back the new toolbox or the entire geodatabase or the entire workspace. It is also possible to have a multiple deploy on the same machine because it's all about a single workspace. So if I click the MXD for France, all ArcView, all ArcGIS is prepared. It's present me France database, France toolboxes, France model. If at the same time I open another session, and this is UK, the ArcView presents itself like a UK-oriented GIS, and so when they can do different analysis on the same machine, multiple screen with the same ArcGIS.
What happens if you're trying to do it cross-country or each country independent?
It was not the scope, because each country is focused only on its market. But you can drag and drop, move the data, move the layer, and so they are geodatabases, so there are no privacies. We left the software completely open. We create a workflow that the business people can follow, but also imagine that you have ArcGIS, and so you can use it in any way you can. It's also possible to customize on same machine. Using XML file, I can decide which tool are loaded. So for the same country, I can create different user, and for different country, different user. So without using something like permission, enterprise security, or so on, I can simply switch to functionality. And this is a solution that we made in a one-click update. So we package the update, synchronize it using Subversion server. We send through HTTPS. The package is unpacked on the client side. There's a common file that must be launched, and everything is updated. Everything that need is updated. The things that don't need update are left untouched. Okay. We also create, and this is the most challenging things that we've done, is a what-if scenario, what-if tool analysis. Imagine that you have to prepare from year to 3 years to reorganize your network, and you have to decide, using dry time as I saw, which is the coverage. If I move one dealer from one part to another part, what happened in terms of coverage, what happened in terms of level of service, which is the distance that my customer have to travel to come to visit my dealer. And so you can create a multiple scenario. Those scenarios are automatically created. All the KPI are automatically recalculated. The scenario creates a physical copy of the geodatabase from the only brand that you choose and permit you to navigate inside it. Okay, Marco, can you?
Okay. So, as Stefano said, A what if is a kind of geographical view, as the Excel file that you usually work with in the business country. We have to deal with an Excel file when the user put some particular data and see what happens if I change this data in the future. Usually we work with the past data, historical data. We see what we have done the years before. But here we want to see what we are going to have if we change the sales network in a geographical view. If I change a customer, if I remove that point, if I add another one, and I want to see the new coverage, what it look like in the future. And with a few entry points models, we start to create a new scenario starting from the current situation. I take the current network, the current coverage, and the current drive time areas. The user, with a few using the panel, start to edit the network. Stefano said that we work with business people, so they don't care about the editing features inside the ArcView interface. They don't want to start editing. They don't want to remove a feature using the editing panel. They don't want to fill every kind of field inside the table, and don't want to remove anything else. So with a few models, you can see in the upper corner, add data, remove data, modify data. There are prefixed models that do the things that can create confusion for them. So add a new point, and so on. The starting point of everything is create new scenario. In this part, they put the name and the brand they want to analyze. And it creates a completely new copy of the current situation with the changes layer. So they see what they are going to modify, add, and delete. Then, with using the same processes as the normal workflow, we create a new coverage and the new analysis and KPIs on this new scenario. So they can evaluate different situations from the current situation and evaluate if the new changes may affect in a good way or in a bad way the current network. So they take some decisions on that may affect in the next year. So it's a kind of what if in the business process for the sales network they want to maybe, for example, in the sales in the products they want to see how my sales could be if I change the price of this product. Okay, in this case, how my coverage will be if I remove this point from my area, and how will be my coverage. So they can see the future in geographical view and not only in sales view. So go back to Stefano for the conclusion.
Okay, the conclusion is that we create a solution that must achieve two things. It must be easy to use and must be easy to deploy. Easy to use because simply is not a GIS solution. It's easy to use, like following a workflow and clicking button. And all the things that the GIS do are doing in the background. And easy to deploy because it doesn't involve the IT, doesn't involve permission on a machine, doesn't involve anything. It's simply a file that are moved from one location to another. And that's, in our opinion, is the best way, the safe way to approach the commercial and private sector. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.